Hello children, welcome to Unorthodox Learning YouTube channel. Today we'll discuss the poem Daffodils by William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth is known as a nature poet. He is known as a nature poet and he was born on 7th of April 1770. And this poem was written when once he was on a walk with his sister Dorothy. He came upon a sight of belt of daffodils beside a lake beneath the trees. And with this beautiful sight inspired him to write this poem Daffodils. Now let us come to the text. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over the vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud. With the explanation, I'll tell you which poetic devices or literary devices are used in the poem. So you please pen down those poetic devices. I wandered. The poet was wandering lonely as a cloud. As a cloud, simile is used. This literary device, simile, is used. I wandered lonely as a cloud means once the poet was wandering alone as freely as a cloud over the valleys and hills. And during his solitary walk, he happened to see a large number of golden daffodils near the lake under the tree, beneath the trees. When all at once I saw a crowd. Crowd here is used for a large number of daffodils. As he had never seen such a huge expansion of golden daffodils, he has used the word crowd for daffodils. Generally we use crowd word for a group of people. So personification is used in this word crowd and a host. In these two words personification is used, means daffodils are personified. Beside the lake, beneath the trees. Where did the poet find those host of golden daffodils, huge expanse of golden daffodils? Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. And what did he see? That beautiful sight. He see that they were fluttering. Fluttering means moving quickly like butterflies. They were fluttering, and in this word fluttering, which poetic device is used? Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is used. Fluttering means moving quickly, and it is a sound word. Wherever sound words are used, there is onomatopoeia. And dancing in the breeze. Fluttering and dancing in the breeze. They were moving quickly, and because there was cool gentle breeze which was making them flutter and dance. This beautiful sight of daffodils enthralled the heart of the poet. Now coming to the next stanza. Continuous as the stars that shine. They were as numerous as the shining stars. Now in this as the stars, simile is used. Another literary device, poetic device is used, that is simile. That means comparison has been made. Though the number of daffodils has been compared with the continuity of the stars that twinkle in our galaxy Milky Way. They stretched in never-ending line. They seemed to form an endless line. When the poet was seeing that beautiful sight of golden daffodils fluttering and dancing because of the cool breeze, gentle breeze, he says that they stretched in never-ending line. It seems as if they never end anywhere. They were so huge in number. In this line, hyperbole is used, means exaggerated. This line is exaggerating the number of daffodils. So hyperbole is used. And where did he encounter those daffodils? Along the margin of a bay. They were stretched endlessly along the extreme edge. Margin means extreme edge of that lake. 10,000 saw I at a glance. At a glance means at one look. At one look, the poet has seen almost 10,000 daffodils. tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Now these daffodils were waving their heads in joyful dance. In sprightly means in excessive joyous mood. Sprightly means in excessive joyous mood. So these daffodils were waving their heads in joyful dance. In this line, again daffodils are personified, because daffodils cannot dance, because daffodils, what are daffodils? Daffodils are flowers. So only the human beings can dance. So here the literary device, poetic device personification is used for daffodils. Coming to the next stanza. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. The rising and falling waves seemed to be dancing like daffodils. The joy and beauty of the daffodils was greater. Now, how did the daffodils outdo the waves? The poet felt that the waves which were rising and falling in the lake and were sparkling in sunlight seemed to be dancing in the breeze, but their dance was surpassed by the dance of daffodils. Outdid means outstripped in the sparkling waves in glee. Glee means great delight. A poet. A poet here refers to any sensitive person. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. Jocund company means a joyful companions. Now the poet says any sensitive person, and the poet is of the opinion that no sensitive person can help feeling delighted in the company of such joyful companions. I gazed and gazed, but little thought. The poet says that he had been looking, gazed means looking, that he had been looking at the beautiful sight for a long time. And he was thinking what he thought, what wealth the show to me had brought, what wealth this sight of golden daffodils had brought to him. For oft, when on the couch I lie, in vacant or pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Now, the poet says, first of all, he questions himself that what wealth he has gathered by looking at this beautiful sight of daffodils. He forgot that indeed he was collecting a great wealth in his mind with the memory of this delightful vision. And later on he realized that he had obtained a great treasure of joy and happiness. Bliss of solitude means greatest blessing in his solitary life. What is that greatest wealth? The wealth refers to joy, pleasure, happiness and peace that the poet gets with the beautiful sight of golden daffodils. And here in this stanza, the poet is saying about his feelings that whenever after some time, when this event was over, when he went back to his house, and whenever he would be in pensive mood, pensive means thinking deeply, in his deep thinking mood, whenever he would lie on his couch, you understand, it's kind of sofa. So whenever he will lie on his couch and he will think deeply, then the memories of those golden daffodils, the joy of this recollection was the greatest bliss, greatest blessing in his solitary life. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. And then his heart was overpowered with the pleasure and began to dance like the daffodils. Now in this poem, the theme of the poem is influence of nature on man. What is the influence of nature on Wordsworth? Because in the beginning of the poem, Wordsworth was wandering lonely. He was in solitary mood. He was feeling lonely. He was wandering lonely. But when he saw the golden daffodils, when he came in the sight of, when he saw that host of golden daffodils, then he changes his mood. He becomes happy. In that joyful company, he feels peace and he feels joyful, and he recollects those memories. And whenever he is in pensive mood in his later life, then also with the recollection of that wealth, the memories of golden daffodils, he feels better and he feels happy. So the influence of nature on man is the main theme of this poem. Thank you. Now please subscribe to Unorthodox Learning and don't forget to click on the bell icon. Hit that like button if you enjoyed learning. And please write down your doubts in the comment section. Thank you.